Yeah.
Boom, boom. Yo, welcome, family. Season 2 again, man. Episode, I think we on like 12 right now. The Big Money No Problem Talk podcast show, man, where we get straight into the point. I'm Chuck, a.k.a. Big Will, with my brother from another on that side, A.G., a.k.a. Mr. Ileana Jones.
What up? What up?
Yes, sir. So we back up in here in the shop again to have another conversation on what's popping. AG would definitely let y'all know what we talking about, man. But before we get all into that, man, let's go ahead and let our homies up in this shop, man, our regulars up in here introduce themselves. Go ahead, Furmane.
Well, you know it's Furmane in the building. Key's gonna check on in a little bit, man. Yo, and I want to say shout out to Furmane Entertainment, Big Money No Problems Talk Podcast. Let's go.
Go ahead,
I'm a
Furman.
little lost.
Go
All right,
ahead,
I'll take it away. It's Furmane Entertainment.
Furmane.
I'll thank my fur landers, Furman and Fur ladies, man. And shout out to Big Money No Problems Talk Podcast, man. But this is weird. Let's go.
Yeah, already.
Dude.
Already. So before we get heavy into it, man, we want to let y'all know, man, that the Big Money No Problem Talk Show is sponsored by Mill Hub Media, man, Profound Entertainment, where they have a selection of new artists and gamers. We also want to let y'all know, man, that you can check us out over those internet airwaves, man. Hey, streaming all day, every day on One United Radio, which you can stream at oneunitedradio.com, or you can download the One United Radio app. Also, you can check us out, man, every Saturdays, man, on that 92 KELZ radio station, man. Number one internet-based radio station out of Houston, Texas. You can stream that live at 92KELZ.com, or you can download the 92KELZ app to tune in. So continue to support the Big Money No Problems ENT family and be on the lookout for more moves to be made to further this platform, man. Y'all already know. So once again, man, as I always like to say, man, do what you do to vibe out with us during this episode. And hey, let's get straight into the point, man. AG, man, go ahead and talk about the top. What we on tonight?
Hey, look, we was talking about this, man. We basically, we was talking about parenthood, you know what I mean? Parenthood and kind of like disciplinarianship, you know what I mean? Like how it is now versus how it is back then, you know what I mean? How we was raised, you know what I'm saying, versus how, you know what I mean, kind of like, you know what I mean, our youth, you know what I mean, our kids are raised today, the difference in it, man. You know, I think it's a great big difference. I don't think that our kids now having the same amount of fear that we had in our heart to, you know what I'm saying, to do the, you know what I mean, to do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So I know when I was coming up, I was a little daring little boy, you know what I mean? But I still had that fear of getting my ass whooped for getting in trouble. So either I was gonna be real smart about it, you know what I'm saying? Or I wasn't gonna do it. You know what I mean?
AG, we got whooped on accidents, man. Even if you did an accident,
you might stumble into a ass whooping, man. You know what I mean?
Just haphazardly, man. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous how many ass whoopings I have received, man, on accident.
For real.
That's real talk.
To get a quick backhand across the face or something. Hey man, that happened frequently. You know what I mean? Man, I wish you would.
What about the lip smack? Like bop, bop, bop right in your lip.
Man, guilty by association ass whooping.
Straight up. And that's what I'm saying, man, just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, piggyback off the homie AG on this topic, man. It's just something we noticing with this generation nowadays. Like in this generation, it's a lot more talking back, a lot more I don't give a fuck, a lot more like just doing whatever the fuck they feel they want to do and not really wanting to listen to the directions of just handling business and life as a whole. And it's kind of weird and crazy because something as little as like me growing up, and I know y'all can attest to this, dog, my parents' room, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never was able to just go into my parents' room and just be comfortable. I had to knock on that door. I had to make sure everything was where it needed to be because it was crazy. Like nowadays, kids just in my situation, you know what I'm saying, old situation, kids can just stroll up in your room, man, use your shit, and they look at you like, this is my room. Like, what the fuck? So the discipline factor, trying to put kids to teach them responsibilities and all that stuff like that. You're right, man. It's a whole different breed of kids.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
God bless the child that got his own.
Yeah,
That God is on. That's what my dad said to me.
Yeah,
This ain't your mansion.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? God bless the child that got his own. And that's on the Rock song. That's on the Rock sitcom, if you want to know where it came from in that rhythm.
Under the whole act of, you know what I mean, kids are to be seen and not heard. You know what I'm saying? Under the, you know what I mean, stay in a child's place. Under the, you know what I mean, don't mess up, or you gonna get, you know what I mean, get that ass.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah. You know, we can keep adding on. They robbing Peter to pay Paul for us. We can keep adding on, man.
Right.
Exactly.
And see, my thing about it is this, though, man. You know what I mean? How it's certain, you know what I mean, certain morals and certain values that were, you know what I mean, instilled upon us, you know what I mean, coming up, man. You know what I mean? That kind of, you know what I mean, chin checked us, if you must say, you know what I mean, that gave us that direction, like, yeah, you gonna step off to the left, you know what I mean? But remember, it was something, you know what I mean, that fear of, you know what I mean, getting in trouble, that fear of getting your ass whooped, that fear of, you know what I mean, a consequence,
that fear of authority.
Yeah, that fear of authority. Boom, thank you. That fear of authority kept your ass from drifting off too far to the left. You brought, you know, you stepped out, but you snapped right back, came to the right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that was that was a big thing, because back in the day, you actually, not saying that we didn't do our shit, but you actually knew how far to go with your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and take it to that next level, because I definitely understood what the consequences were when I did make that decision. So, for kids today, it's almost like you said, they look at the parents like, what the fuck you going to do?
Straight up.
Hey, what I want to know is, when is everybody time is different leaving the nest? When was it the final pull of the umbilical cord? Like, yo, this is it. Yeah? I'm not coming back. What was y'all umbilical cord pull?
You talking about us per se, or being or the parents' perspective of it?
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about us. Like, what incident made the umbilical cord to be pulled where you had to be gone from the nest egg and never come back and be an adult?
I know for me, I can say it was a moment where we got into a nice little situation, an argument. And when we got into it, that very day, she said, get your shit. I'm taking you to the motherfucking homeless shelter. Yeah, Furmane. This is when I was living in Tucker Road. She said I had spazzed out. She said I couldn't do something. I punched a hole in the wall, like I spazzed the fuck out.
I ain't never seen you like that, Chuck. What are you talking about? Punching holes in the walls? No, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
I spazzed out, and then that very day, my mother's literally put me in the car and took me to a homeless shelter. And only reason I ain't end up in the streets heavy from that point on was because the homeless shelter wasn't taking nobody in at that time. I was right down there. And right before you hit downtown, down that way, in Southeast.
Hey Chuck. I have to refute you then, Chuck.
What's up?
If that happened, then when did you move into my house as a Sam Nichols teenager?
Yeah, all that stuff happened before I graduated school.
So hold on. But see, that doesn't answer my question. I'm asking, when was the umbilical cord completely cut?
Oh, Once I turned 18. Once I turned 18 and had to leave, that was it.
And hey, for me it was 17. You know what I mean? When I hit left and went to college, when I went to Tennessee State, shout out Big Blue, shout out Juan Click, you know what I mean, who you with. But when I went to college, it was a wrap for me. You know what I mean? I no longer wanted to be under my parents' roof. You know what I'm saying? It was hey, I had the inclination, you know, my old man will laugh at that word, but hey, you know what I'm saying? I had the inclination of being on my own. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That early. So you telling me, AG, that you did not go back home after college?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when I made my mind up, when I severed myself from the umbilical cord, you know what I mean? You know, this is the thing, you know, you got to realize, and that's what I tell people now, you know what I mean? Push your kids out, let them bump their heads so they can come back and you can help them rebuild. You know what I mean? Of course, once I came back from school, I had to come back to the crib. You know what I mean? I had to rebuild them, you know what I mean, for a little bit. But I think from
how long was you there, AG? How long was you there?
I'd never be there for no more than about 3 months.
Okay, okay.
Then I'm back out.
Okay.
But I think when you talk about this generation of kids, just to kind of get what you where you going with it, Furmane. When you look at what's going on with that situation, people starting to break away a little bit. These kids today is starting to stay attached, I feel like, just a little bit too long. And I think some of us are allowing that to happen a little bit because we're trying to look at the generations of like when we was growing up, things wasn't as rampant in terms of pedophilia, the having to pay attention to people. Like even today, it's hard for us as parents to even trust our kids to go to other motherfuckers' house. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost
it was still rampant. It's just that, you know what I mean, they didn't have enough technology access to it. You know what I mean? That shit was still
but
going
the difference,
on.
But I feel like the difference was at that time frame is like me and Furmane. My mother knew his mother. Like people actually took time to get to know other people, like your friends' parents, and like you actually was able to be on your own a little bit when you stepped about the crib. You know what I'm saying? Without the fear of having to worry about shit. Today, I look at I'm like, when my son used to tell me like I'm trying to go over a homie house, I'm like, all right, who's your home? Your home ain't never been over here. Where are you going? Like, who was the parents or who was this? So it's kind of like that generation is just different now.
Hey, but Chuck, I just want to say this though, right? Mm-hmm. In our society, they have not increased the wages in a sense for our kids to move out in the inflationary of society that we live in. Okay. Everything is more expensive now.
Yeah,
there's no millennials living in New York City.
The wages have increased. I mean, you got to think about when
the wages have stagnated, AG.
I mean, they've stagnated, but they have still increased. What was the minimum wage
the wages have not matched the inflation of society, the housing bubble, the expensiveness of this all.
The only thing that the wages are not matching is your, you know what I mean, your wants, not your needs. Your need, the inflationary, the ratio of the inflation right now is still the same. It's still the same as it was as we came out. Because what was minimum wage when you graduated high school?
No, it's not that, AG. It's not that. It's that the fact that our parents was paying $200-300 of rent. And now we're paying $2,000.
Yeah.
Now
they're paying $200-300. Come on now, AG. A loaf of bread was 25 cents. Come on, AG.
How much was a loaf of bread when you graduated high school?
$1 and some change if you wanted the potato bread.
How much is a loaf of bread now?
Like $4.
Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Potato bread $2-3.
That's depending on the type of loaf you buy. Now you can go to Family Dollar and buy, you know what I mean?
Come on, AG. Our parents were paying 50 cents a gallon of gas, man. 60 cents a gallon. They were able to move out at the age of 18 with the government hiring with pensions and everything like that, and establish a middle class for us melanated.
But what I'm saying,
let me ask you.
Ask your parents how much they were making an hour. Then you can create the proper ratio.
But let me ask you this. Furmane. Do you think with the inflation over time and everything like that, do you think that's the reason why parenting is so soft now? Because we worry so much more about the stability of our kids when they leave the crib than we did back in the day?
Well, here's the thing. With us having a huge debt of student loan, first of all, with that looming over our heads, there's no way we can go and cop a house like that, man. Like that when we got a whole big, huge student loan debt over our heads. And then on top of that, yes, our parents have to accept what society is now. Our kids cannot come out and do what they do, work in the government, get benefits, dental, medical, and all of that, and make $40,000-$50,000 in a society that in the 70s and 80s. We can't get it like that now. So it's a totally different type situation. But this time is more of a creative time. It's more of a digital time.
But do you feel like? But let me ask you a question on this one though. Like I'm saying though, do you think that's why when we talk about parenting and the way kids are nowadays, because of all those things you laid out, do you think we give kids a different type of benefit of the doubt in the way we raised them in today's society than we did back in the day, where we was a little bit more stricter and we actually handled things a little bit more of a disciplinary type of attitude back in the day? Because a lot of kids was able to, us growing up, we was on our own a lot more. Like we was able to be on our own early. Trying to get a kid to be on their own early nowadays, that's a hard thing to do. So do you think that because of all those things you laid out, we softened our stance a little bit, the way the development of our kids to be able to manage on their own?
Now, I don't think we we softened it. I think society's technology softened it.
Boom.
I think the parents' acceptance of the technology softened it, so as to where we don't parent no more. It's the digital device that parents the kids.
Hey,
now.
dig this. Hey, when your child reaches, you know what I'm saying, 2 years old, 2-3 years old, you know what I mean, that toddler era where they can start understanding the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? What's the first thing that parents do? They hand them some type of digital device to, you know what I'm saying, to hold their attention. You know what I mean? While you doing, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and shout out to the parents. I'm not saying nothing, you know what I mean, anything negative on the parents. I mean, especially a lot of the single mothers, you know what I mean? You're doing a million things around the house, but at the same point in time, you handing that child that digital device, that little tablet, that little whatever, little game thing, you know, this touch screen and everything, you know what I'm saying? To hold their attention. You know what I mean? So that plays a heavy role in it.
I mean, in our generation, it was the TV. It was a TV, and then we had the Nintendo and stuff like that. But it's not as deep as it is now. Now every time my son has to have a digital device in their hands is all time, and it's like, yo, put the device down, man. Get into life, man.
But see, I you know what I mean. I want to take it a little.
Go ahead, Keith.
Go ahead, G.
Yeah, I want to take it a little bit deep. A little bit deeper, man. You know what I mean? Like the accountability mode that we had. You know what I mean? The accountability versus the accountability mode that the kids have now. You know what I mean? I think that what I've encountered, you know what I'm saying, was people, a lot of parents that say, well, I want my kids to do better than I did, or, you know what I mean, have more than I did. You know what I mean? But I think that we as parents often tend to forget what the lack of what we had was, you know what I'm saying, what built our character, our suffrage, our struggle, you know what I'm saying, our, you know what I'm saying, just learning, growing up, having to, you know what I mean, accept responsibility. Like, I don't know about y'all, but you know what I mean, me, you know what I'm saying? How many of y'all had to step up sometimes and you know what I mean, help your parents out? Like, you know what I mean, just knowing, you know what I mean? Hey, I got to do that. That's your role.
I feel you.
I
Go ahead,
never
Keith.
had to help my parents out, but I feel you though. They don't
See,
want
I mean,
I'm
not
coming
necessarily have
at
to,
it from
but
a different
want
point of
to.
view. Like G said, see, me, man, was different. Like me personally, my personal. Well, answer your first question, Furmane. Man, I left the crib at 16. It was because like it was the whole in my household. It was the when you feel like you don't want to follow my rules, you gotta go, and that's why I left. I wasn't finna take no more ass whoopings, and you wasn't finna keep talking to me crazy. So I that's when but it was respectful though. It wasn't no I'm finna disrespect my OG type shit. Like it was just a oh mama, this how I feel. I'm out. I'm 16. I can't get no. I had to go. Everything I know about like adult life, a crackhead taught me. Real shit. A crackhead taught me. A crackhead taught me how to go pay bills, how to go to the little department offices on how to get utilities cut on, and in turn, I helped them fulfill they itch. You see what I'm saying? But to the current topic we on, I feel that the reason why it's a difference in like the kids now than from us, because a lot of parents fear jail. When they made it public that if you touch your kids, you going to jail, they gave the kids all the power.
That's a big point.
All the power.
Big point.
They gave the kids all the power. And look how more intelligent the kids are now at their current age than we were at their current age. Yeah. Even developmental features now. Look how more niggas in trouble for trying to holler at little girls who have fully developed at the same age. Little girls had cardboard tests and shit. You see what I'm saying? And now, even with my 10-month-old, my 10-month-old son who didn't exist 10 months ago can play Candy Crush better than me. Like his little fingers on that flipping shapes and shit. If it match, he putting it together at 10 months, G.
Hey, on the real, I came up in
real
the era like
situations than ours was.
I came up on the era in elementary school, man. We still had the principals and the vice principals, you know what I mean, paddling. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I mean? That shit is like, you know what I mean? A parent now, just think about the one of your peers, you know what I mean? They kid coming home talking about the vice principal them paddle they ass. You know what I mean? They get ready to blow up the whole damn school building. But at the same point in time, that's why I say, you know what I mean? You really not relating your childhood, you know what I'm saying? You relating to some type of imaginary, you know what I'm saying, figmentation of your childhood, but you're not really relating to your childhood because a lot of that shit kept, you know what I mean, kept the shit intact. You know what I mean? I know when I was growing up, we had fights and shit. We had gang brawls. But you know what I mean, we were still scared of that. Still had that, you know what I mean, fear of getting in trouble. You know what I mean? It was still something there. You know what I mean? Now it's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? And the more
they don't have no fear.
They robbing at
like
noon. They coming to get you at noon.
Yeah. I mean, what it's like now. What you gonna do? Take my phone from me? Take my tablet, my computer. You know what I'm saying?
They're literally waiting by the jewelry store in California.
To piggyback off that, AG, you can't even take nothing. Let's say you take their tablet, you take their phone. Guess what happened when they go to school? They get those same devices to use at school.
Right.
From the school.
Right.
That's real talk. And that's the thing. Like the kids today, it's almost
I feel like when we let the government come in and tell us what to do in our household, that's when we fail. You see what I'm saying? Well, our parents, so to speak, when they came in and said, "Hey, you can't do this to your child." A child, you for one got to pay for. You got to pay for their clothes. You got to pay to feed them. You got to go to work to pay the bills, keep the utilities on for them little niggas. But the government saying, whatever you do, you cannot whoop their ass to keep them in line. Why?
The same. Hey, man, the same.
Hey, Peter,
call me and tell me your kid is acting up, but I can't whoop my child though. You know what I mean? I can't punish my child.
Right.
Hey, to add on to what Keith said, right? I did a playback in the day, right? And it was about a time frame of a teenager at the age of 16, right? At the age of 16, guess what happens? A 16-year-old can emancipate themselves and not go to school no more. And as a parent, you can't do nothing. But guess what? As a parent, you can't kick your kid out.
Right.
Like real life.
I know.
Right. You are unfit. You are unfit at that point. You know what I'm saying? So now they gonna investigate you.
Now you get hit with child abandonment.
Yep. Correct. So at the age of 16, the law is putting parents in a very vicarious situation, man. Very sticky situation.
Now you got a 16-year-old in your house with the same like backing that's an adult, and they only 16.
Pretty much.
They got a whole government that's gonna side with them whether they right or wrong.
Right.
That's the crazy thing,
man. And those were my thoughts when I.
On the other hand, my mama was one of them. I don't give a damn call the police. I'm gonna whoop your ass till they come here. Also, I'm gonna beat your ass till they get here.
Hey, I ain't gonna tell you. Hey, my old G, she told me, she's like, at the point when I can't whoop you, I shoot you. You know what I mean? And I respect it. You know what I mean? Hell, she a whole woman. I'm a whole, you know what I mean, growing virile young man. You know what I mean? So you gonna have to chin check me some kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? And my old man, he just didn't play it, period. You know what I mean? Hey, this is the way you gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go against my way. You know what I mean? So it's like,
but that goes back to, like you say, that fear, and it's not even fear. In my opinion, I think that's a word we shouldn't. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That's the word we shouldn't use. It was respect of the household. It was respect of the people, of the adults in that household.
I don't agree. I think there is a level of fear there. I think there is a level of fear there. If your dad comes talking to you,
it's fear. It's fear in the form of respect, though. It's
that's what I'm about to say. It's not like it.
Yeah, but there is a little small level of fear that your dad will kick your ass. I feel like there's a small level. I say my dad can probably kick my ass for real. He got that man strength and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and cool out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how your dad got that man strength, man. Whether they bigger than you or smaller than you.
Hey,
fuck out of here, man.
Hey, I'm not scared of no man, but my old man, hey, that's still at 40 years
old. You feel me?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know
whatever you say, what's up, Dad? What you need? What's up, sir? I'm like, sir, everything, man.
Hey, real
with Doc, man.
And that, hey, let me kind of capitalize off that. You know what I mean? When I speak to my old man, you know what I mean? It's always yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I mean? Sir, you know what I'm saying? I'm 40 years old, man, and I'd be like, if I'm gonna say a cuss word, I'd be like, hey, excuse my language, but you know what I mean? This bitch, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
But this is what crazy though, because in this day and age and raising these new age of kids, you got some in terms of the couples, the marriages and everything like that, that the difference in philosophies tend to make an issue nowadays. Because when I tried to, just to be honest, I tried to instill certain things into my kids. The other half of me was like,
hey,
why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Being married with kids, G, I deal with that on a constant basis.
That's a natural thing. That's a natural thing. That's a natural thing. That's
what happens. I'm not married, but I have a kid. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, and her mama, we never see eye to eye. You know what I mean? Never. You know what I mean? And then being a single man coming into a relationship with a woman that has kids, trying to be the man, you still can't. You know what I mean? Implement your, you know what I'm saying? Your male.
That right there, G, I could never do. Even before I got married, G, I couldn't do it for the reasons you said, and for the other reasons, like say, for instance, if it don't work out, now you got to detach from them kids. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, being single with no kids, well, not no living kids, it's kind of hard because, one, you got to think about, are these kids going to be junior terrorists? Two, what happens if we don't work out? Saying now you got all that time and old relationships where I was that dude, the dude that was cool with the kids and blase skippy, lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying? Things didn't work. And now you got to deal with, damn, like, I spent all this time getting close to these kids, woo. And then the whole difference in parenting thing, like, my situation currently, like, my wife had a better, you know what I'm saying, home life as a child than I did. So my understanding of parenting is it's a lot more strict than hers. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we class.
Hey,
And that's the big,
I
and that's
feel
why I
you
here's the
on
said
that
that's
thing.
one.
the biggest, that's the
Hold on.
biggest, but that's the biggest thing right there. I think in the complications of the way kids are and the way the generation is today, because the parents are not on the same page no more.
Yeah,
It's not. It's not.
That's a
They
big
that's
not on the
that's
same
that's
page.
Yeah.
that's heavy. That's heavy right there. Like, hey, I like what you just said. That's heavy right there.
Hey, I want to say this though, right? As a person that has been married and has also have been parenting stepkids, I just want to say that is the most difficult thing that any man can do. And I understand, Keith, that you didn't want to do that. I understand that, brother. Woo, I understand, because you get no gratification out of that.
Bro,
You
hey,
get
I
none.
currently have a stepchild, just to put that in there.
Look,
I got
dig this. I have yet to come across a woman, you know what I mean, that hasn't had kids. You know what I mean? As far as me being single and dating and joining relationships, you know what I'm saying? So I fully understand it, because you be sitting there and you be like, and you be itching to say something like, if you don't, man,
you be like, nah, because I don't want to get into it with her.
Hey,
G, you in my head right now, G.
I swear,
up,
man,
bro.
you know what I mean? You'll be itching like,
head, bro. Shut up.
Hey, man, if
But
you
you
don't,
can't,
what the fuck?
but you can't put no hands on them.
You
You
can't
like
put
the
no
way you
hands
want
on
Hey,
them.
to.
hold on,
Hey, and then, hey, hold on. As soon as you say,
I'm finna rattle all y'all closets with this, G. Hey, as soon as you say, hey, I got something to say about your child, nigga, that's a whole different argument. That always because it's only your other child. What you mean?
hey,
Like,
but
exactly.
that those be conversations you don't even want to start.
Exactly.
think about it in this fashion, though. We went from, you know what I mean, a culture of it takes a village to a culture of you can't tell me shit because I've been doing it by myself.
For this part of time, and that's the crazy
let
thing.
that sink in. You know what I mean? We went from a culture of it takes a village to now you feel like you can do it by yourself.
Crazy,
you know what I
mean? crazy. Like, it's like, and it's almost like you want to get on that same page to be able to do that, but when people are bringing in the way they were raised, and then you bring in the way you was raised, and then it's just so many different mentalities in that, and then you trying to. That's why this generation is so confused, because you got some who sit there and be like, "I'm not supposed to do this," but then you got some who be like, "Well, my parents ain't gonna say shit, so maybe I can do this." Or it's so hard nowadays, man. And like you said, when you got so many situations with single mothers, and then you start to get into these relationships, and now you gotta do the blended family thing. And then as a blended family, I'm not allowed to be a father.
Who's acting like a single parent, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not allowed to be a parent.
On the ladies. You living with a person who still want to be a single parent. You see what I'm saying? And you have no input on like the interactions with that child and what they do in, especially if it's your crib. Gee, I think at the beginning of my situation, that was the biggest ticker. Like, hold on, this my house. Like, hold on, like I understand if we move into something together, but at the beginning, it was all mad. So you used to your space, not only with that woman and her child. So it was. Hey, it's been a process.
And it's like this though, man. You know what I mean? Because situations vary. You know what I'm saying? I know me. You know what I mean? I know y'all. You know what I mean? I know my general circles. You know what I mean? I'm always around stand up men. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? What I say about variations is I don't care if, you know what I mean, if the situation, you know what I mean, plays out to where I end up moving in with you, you know what I'm saying, or you moving in with me, regardless. You know what I mean? If I move in with you, that mean I got money on the bills. That mean, hey, I got that, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing my part to play that role. You know what I mean? So you have to give me the respect of that role. But you know what I mean, that's still kind of going left, like you know what I mean, what Chuck alluded to earlier, you know what I mean? Imagine the mind state of the kids now, you know what I'm saying, with so much confusion, with so much, you know what I mean, arguments, so many arguments, with so much of, you know what I mean? So much blurred. The lines are blurred as far as to what the roles of the household are. Who's who, who's what. You know what I mean? What are they supposed to do, though? You feel what I'm saying?
That right there is a key point, though, because the foundation and the core of how we look at households is so like misconstrued today that is really hard. That's what makes for that confusion. Back then, I knew who was the head. I knew like I said, I come up in a family where the men handle business. You know what I'm saying? So me bringing a certain value to a household, I understand that a man got to do what he got to do to make sure the household is where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that type,
and then Chuck, we're saying that you got to think about all the dudes who ain't doing that. Now you're coming into the picture with your mind frame, and you know that female may come in where it's always been just me and my kids, and we gonna be good regardless. Woo, and that automatically make you jump back.
Ooh, I hate that.
If that's your mentality, bitch, you and your kid can.
Ooh, I hate that. Ooh, I hate that. Ooh.
It's that famous phrase, me and mines.
Ooh, I hate it. Ooh, it triggers me. It triggers me.
You and y'all's the right the fuck out out. No matter of fact,
I think we got people watching this that felt that.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, that triggers
people that's gonna
me.
watch that part and be like, man, I felt that. I've
heard that before. I've heard that before.
So we can kind of commonly agree that, you know what I mean, we had a different path to follow. We had different footsteps to follow in versus what they got now. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird because I was talking to somebody, man. I told them, you know, because people keep on talking about it's the young people that's, you know what I mean, that's crazy. It's the young cats doing all this and that. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, it might be, you know what I mean, a lot of them doing it, but we doing it we cats in our age bracket still doing it. You know what I mean? But even furthermore, you know what I'm saying, the cats in our age bracket ain't showing them how to do it, like, you know what I mean, like the one, you know what I mean, our mentor. We're not being proper mentors for the youth.
Right.
And the thing is too, like I said, when I'm
gonna piggyback off that, G, because go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because I grew up, you know what I'm saying, in a household with a step parent. But he had the same luxuries of a dad, you know what I'm saying, my real father. You know what I'm saying? And my mother gave that free reign because when she made that transition, that was the new relationship. I had to respect that man as a father, even though he wasn't my original father. But I had to respect that man, and he had the free reign to whoop my ass and do all that shit when I fucked up. So when you look at the situation of where we at today, and I'm like, damn, you get into a situation.
You called him Tracy. You called him by his first name, man.
I mean, I still had a dad. So my dad was still alive.
So you follow suit because your OG respected him as a man of valor and stature, right?
Exactly.
So the kids are gonna follow how they mama treat that man. If you got the mamas treating the dudes like they ain't shit niggas, how you think them kids gonna respect you? Like you an ain't shit nigga?
Straight up. That's straight up.
But look, dig even deeper though. Like, you know what I mean, compounding off of what Chuck said, you know what I mean? Your mother chose that man, you know what I mean? And I want to make this clear too, you know what I mean, to a lot of ladies, you know what I mean? A genuine choice, you know what I'm saying? Because you took your time and you evaluated your choice. That don't mean that every, you know what I mean, every little, you know what I mean, time dick that pop in your life can, you know what I'm saying, play a daddy role to your kids. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because a lot of that happens too. You know what I mean? You bring somebody in your life and, you know what I mean, they play a daddy role for about 6-7 months, you know what I mean? Maybe 2 years, you know what I mean? But then you don't want him no more. He messed up, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of responsibility that, you know what I mean, we're not taking, you know what I mean, holding ourselves accountable for, that is, you know what I'm saying, damaging the youth at this point.
And I want to add on real quick though. For all you single men out there that don't want kids, why not take a kid that doesn't have a dad and bring him under your wing? Yeah. You know, because That's what a person did for me that didn't have any kids. They took a person that didn't have a dad and brought him under his.
Furmane, same for me, G. That same thing happened to me. A person with no kids treated me, and that's how I learned everything I know about being a stand-up man. I learned it from a dude with no kids, believe it or not.
Absolutely, and that's the same way that I've been growing up and still living to this day, man. And Charles, you know, Ernie, man. You know Banks, man. You know what I'm saying? Stand-up man, doctor, man. And still with him to this day. I seen him yesterday, man. Still with him.
And I kind of noticed, like I said, those are the things, because those are things that I saw within Furmane. Me and Furmane used to have our conversations, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, if we can talk about a little bit, Furmane, when you was going through what you was going through with your ex. I was like, it was crazy to see a man who was putting in that time. Because like you said, when you invest the time to want to marry me, and then you invest the time for us to want to be in that long-term relationship, you giving me that free reign to raise your kids how I see fit. And when you start to get to the point to where you start to question how I move when it comes to raising your kids, and I'm doing everything the right way, then we got a problem. Like you said, that's when the single mother start to get into that mindset that she forgetting that, oh, you in a relationship. You chose this man because you felt like this man was going to be that type of person to help raise them kids and to put them kids in the right direction. Now, all of a sudden, you still want to hold on to the reign of stopping that man, or I want to be the lead to continue that, when now it's not that no more. We a unit now. So now we raising this kid as a unit now. And that becomes a struggle.
Even unit included. You know what I'm saying? I don't. If you accept me in your life, you accept me as a man. You know what I mean? Same way. If I accept you in my life, I accept you and your kids you bring along. You know what I mean? But when you accept me in your life, you accept me as a man. You do not get to dictate my manhood. You do not get to tell me how I'm supposed to be a man for you. Only, you know what I mean? I can tell you, you know what I'm saying, what this manhood thing is going to be, because I evaluated this situation.
Hey,
I know what levels that I need to act on. You see what I'm saying?
But G, what you just said, an argument factor in relationships that try to merge as two units, parents and a child, where one parent ain't the biological to that is the main argument factor in most cases. What you exactly just said.
But my
that
thing
female
is that
still think that child is only gonna get raised by her.
Yeah, no. That my thing is, you chose me because you felt like I was a, you know what I mean, a stand-up man, so let me be a man. You know what I mean? You don't get to pick and choose the moments I get to be a man.
And it kind of aligns, and to be honest with you, it kind of aligns with what we're talking about with the way kids are nowadays, because what y'all hearing right now is full black men who do what they can to stay involved in their kids' lives, but also deal with a struggle sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I know me and Furmane, and I know AG, you know what I'm saying, where it's kind of like a hope, because we're not in that relationship no more, where they want to make it that much harder for us to want to help our kids, to want to do more for our kids. What you hearing right now, to me, what is the most important is what we talk about, and why I say men need to be involved, because you wouldn't have these type of kids we see today if I felt like, and this is just my opinion, but I felt like if women allowed the men to be who they needed to be for these kids. You allowed us to be parents for these kids, man.
Concur.
A lot of these kids wouldn't be in these situations that they be in. But when you sitting here making it hard for us, and then some of these dudes get to the point to where it be like, damn, me just trying to raise a child. That's basically it.
Hey,
like, fuck it.
But
You know what I'm saying?
but imagine this though. Imagine this though. You know what I mean? Imagine the confusion of a child. You know what I mean? Because we all done seen it. You know what I mean? It ain't no, you know what I mean? Ain't no secret. You know what I mean? Hell, you know what I mean? Years upon years upon years, the nice guy finishes last, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you take that into consideration. You know what I mean? So you incorporate the child mind frame into it. The nice guy finishes last. The guy that does what he's supposed to do finishes last. So why am I always seeing the bad guys with my mom?
With no issue, nigga, man.
You know what I mean?
Oh, No child. Look, no
You know what I'm
child support.
saying?
He still get to go smash the baby
Why
mama,
am I? Yeah,
and you
why
gotta
am
pick
I
the child up the
seeing
whole
this
time
with
he there. Oh
this
man.
guy with my mom? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So your sons do not know how to be men because hell, you know what I mean? You only latch on to the bad guys. You know what I mean? Your daughters incorporate bad guys into their life because you know what I'm saying. You only incorporate bad guys. Hey man, shout out to Kevin Samuels. I'm about to go on the rampage.
Hey, G, to call on what you talking about, bro. You like it's crazy when you think about how many young homies that got lit, you know what I'm saying, males that they moms talk no manly, nothing about having to be keeping your hygiene up, learning to look a man in his eye, be firm with your handshake. Ain't none of that.
Hey, the difference between the
or how to hold your hands in a fight. You know how many fight videos I watch just to see how dudes hold their hands?
Bruh, the difference between a flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver.
I watched a hardcore female fight. I'm like, the dudes can't even fight like this.
Come on, man.
It's a
you know what I'm saying?
Look, I had to get out and help a little homie he was trying to help this girl change the tire. He ain't know nothing about lefty loosey, righty tighty. He ain't know none of that. Old girl ended up taking
that's 101.
I was there to help him.
That's manhood 101 right there, good. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's 101.
You're not learning it nowadays, man. And that's why you get a lot of these kids and that's the sad part, because you get a lot of these kids, like we were just talking about, in this generation who talk back and do all the stuff that they do because they just think they know everything. But the reason that they think they know everything is because some of us parents allow them to really believe that. And we don't check that shit at the door like we supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I be seeing. This is what I see on social media, man. This is what I see on social media. I see a whole bunch of videos of parents taking of their kids. Yes, baby. Yes. You know what I mean? Yet you are alluding to them kids that you are friends, that you are not their parent. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
All of that, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother confusion level in itself, bro. You know what I mean? Like these kids have no boundaries. They have no boundaries set by us. They have no boundaries, bro. We are. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't. I will never blame the youth, man. You know what I mean? Because we are the problem.
That's the worst, and that's why I said that. To me, that's what you just said right there. What you just said right there to me is the key. We're starting to move away. And like I done had discussions with my son, and I done told him, son, I am not your friend. You have to earn that from me. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's a father-son relationship. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And if you earn that from me, that's just what this is. And a lot of people will hear that and probably think, why would you say that? Because I'm setting that boundary for him to understand that when you come at me, it's not all cool. You can't just talk to me any old way. You know what I'm saying?
Chuck, you said that for the same reason. In this last week, I had to explain to my daughter, I don't care, you know what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean, issues or whatever. You know what I mean? There are still ground rules. You know what I mean? So now I'm battling, you know what I mean, my daughter and her mom. You know what I mean? Because now I'm the bad guy again because I want to set ground rules.
And I'm gonna drop a gem right now. Hold on. I'm gonna drop a gem. As parents, I feel like, and this parents in general, myself included, everybody on the board included, that's a parent. When we let confidence overtake intelligence is where we lost the kids. See what I'm saying? And they made that the norm for popularity. All you got to do is have the balls to do something. Yep. Exactly. Whenever they made it, all you got to do is have the guts to do something. You ain't got to know how to do it, just have the guts to try it. And the world going to accept you, which is, you know what I'm saying, not a bad thing, but that's the norm now. That's all that's getting pushed. Just have the confidence to do something. Like my prime example, I'm gonna keep everybody nameless. I got a family member who has a child father who's very, very talented at basketball. Got 5 sons. Ain't taught one, bro. Because we as parents relying on our kids to have confidence and not intelligence.
And that's a problem. The value of earning it, is gone in this generation today. Everybody want everything given to them. Like, we can't even sit here and be honest with our kids nowadays without somebody feeling like we hurting their feelings. Like, I feel like if you trash at something, I should be able to tell my kid, hey, you trash. You need to get better. You need to be able to do this. You got parents who are afraid to do that and sit there and really tell their kids that you good at something when you ain't. Like, that's a problem.
And let me tell you something. To piggyback off what you're saying, Barry Sanders' father is the same way. Barry Sanders' father told Barry Sanders, "You're not that good."
They told him he sucked.
Yeah, man. Told him he wasn't the best running back ever. Jim Brown was in the Hall of Fame speech.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, no. I don't know. Nobody
You're
famous.
Still parenting?
Look,
that was like Mike. That was like Mike Jordan when he said what he said. Dog, his father used to say to him like, "Dog, go work with your mother, dog. You don't know what the fuck you doing out here, man. I'm working with your brother out here, Slim. You don't know what you doing, man. Get up out of here." Like, we don't do that with our kids nowadays, dog. Like, because people don't understand that's the eternal drive to make that kid that much better. I got to be honest with him. Bruh, I'm not honest with him.
Let me tell you something.
That's a problem.
When I had left, Tennessee State, because it ain't no secret, I ain't finished, you know what I mean? But I was trying to get back out and trying to figure out, my different life roles. I think I was getting ready to enroll in Lincoln Tech, man, on some automotive, be a mechanic, type of thing, and I hollered at my old man about it. I said, man, hey, I just got accepted in Lincoln Tech. He said, so what you want to be, a mechanic? That's what you limited yourself to? You know what I'm saying? When you can do so much, at that point in time, I didn't really understand it. But at the same point in time, it makes sense. Like, man, why are you limiting yourself, to this? You know what I'm saying? That tough love is necessary, bro. You know what I mean? Because it makes you, it makes you step up, to another, to another level. You see what I'm saying?
No, my stepfather. To this day, I love that.
That played a big involvement in my music career. Like, my whole family told me I wasn't gonna be nothing but a drug pushing, low life. My whole family thought that for 13 years, and I'm saying this live on the internet, for 13 years, my entire family did not know what I did for a living. Because they made their plan up of what I was gonna turn out to be, and they just wrote it off as that. I wasn't around, I didn't go to family functions because I was, developing. You know what I'm saying? And my mentality said I can't let them be right. I cannot let them be right. So that negativity made a positive in me. You see what I'm saying? I'm day and night. Hey, what this keep me? How do I make this sound? Ooh. And then when they all came to, I'm like, wait, you do music? I'm like, yeah, since I was 12. I'm 32 now.
Exactly. And that's the crazy thing, because like I said, for me, my stepfather, straight up, I love that man to this, this day. He stepped up when he needed to step up. But when I was about to have my kids, he kept it real to my children's mother's parents. It was like, Charles ain't gonna do shit, basically. He ain't gonna be shit. He ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna take care of them kids. He ain't gonna be able to do this. He ain't gonna be able to do that. That was a real conversation that my stepfather said and had. That I basically wasn't gonna be shit when it came to me having my kids and raising my kids. And that gave me the motivation to be the dad that I am today. Because it's like that honesty. Yeah, that honesty at that point in my life, all he was looking at was where I was at that point in my life at that time. So I could not be, I was mad at that moment, but when I thought back on it, I couldn't be mad because of where I was at in my life at that time.
Let me just apply a little humor to it. Y'all seen the Fire Heartbeats,
finna say what I was finna say.
Y'all see the Fire Heartbeats? When Eddie Kane was, they had first got the little, won the little music contest, and he came up to his pops and said, "We won," and he said, "You ain't shit."
Cause you ain't gonna shit.
Yeah. Hey, but then when he, hey, look, hold on. But when he walked off, what he tell what did his pops tell his mama? He was like, Estelle, I love that boy. I just basically I want him to be better than what you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I
mean? Hey, Chuck, I just want to say, add on to that. When Doc used to talk to me, he used to tell me, man, you ain't nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You just a bullshitter. You ain't gonna be shit. And he used to tell me that. I was like, oh, word? Oh, word? Oh, watch me.
Hey,
watch me.
But
it was different, man. They ignited that fire in him, man. You know what I mean?
Say that again, Keith?
Right. Hey, Furmane. Hey, think about if he would have told you to reverse, G, you would have stayed right there on that platform. You wouldn't have went no higher. If he would have praised you right then and there, you would have been done.
Right.
All you would have felt you had to do to be, you know what I'm saying, impressive to motherfuckers.
It's real.
Right.
When I was going through my knucklehead shit, my old man said, hey, man, you want to keep on bumping your head up against a brick wall? Hey, keep on being a dummy. I cut you off. And cut me off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I respect that, though. I respect that because that's what made, you know what I mean, gave me that drive to transition over and do it the right way. You know what I mean? All right. I'm listening.
Exactly. Like I said, right now, in this day and age, right now, just too many parents still holding the hands of their kids, even as they get older, when you should be letting their asses go. Go make those mistakes. When you fuck up, I'm gonna let you know you fucked up. You gotta start letting go, man. We made
the mistakes.
We gonna talk offline about that, bro. Hey, we gonna talk offline about that. Bro. I can't leave that online. I want to have a conversation with all y'all about
the mistakes. The mistakes build character, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You know what I mean? If we was on this call right now, the four of us, you know what I mean? And if it was one nigga on this motherfucker that, you know what I'm saying, had never been through, we would tear his ass alive. You know what I mean? Because you ain't seen shit.
That's true. Because I've been through it all, goddammit. Yeah. Everybody on here been through some shit, goddammit.
You gotta bump your head.
Everybody on here been through some shit. We on your ass, boy.
The key thing is you don't have to reinvent the wheel, though.
At all.
Bump your head, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? Don't take on the burdens that we done already fought for. You know what I mean? But bump your head, because you know what I mean, you growing up, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta learn a few lessons. You know what I mean? Bump your head a little bit, but don't reinvent the wheel. At the point when you reinvent the wheel, all right, well, hey,
one of my mentors always told me, he said mistakes build steps. So every time you make a mistake, you build another step, and the higher you go, the taller you stand once you rise from the mistakes. And that didn't make sense when I'm like, this dude drunk talking some old mumble jumble, and the more I fucked up, the more I realized what he was saying and falling again. But I'm like, damn, how the fuck? And when I finally stood up as a parent, I'm like, this was all that shit was working for. I did all that shit to make it here, and now if I get in a bad situation, I ain't gonna fall. I'm a react instead of, you know what I'm saying, complain. You see what I'm saying?
And
those mistakes, I can reflect on them now.
And that's what it is. We were, you know what I mean, we were set up to learn how to be adults, but now we're, you know what I mean, set up to, you know what I mean, cripple our kids.
You know what I mean? Shit out of them. I mean, Christopher Reeve filming Superman.
Rip. But hey, as we go ahead and close, man, because this is like pretty much a part one of this segment. The next one, I want to involve a couple mothers and get their opinions on these situations with this conversation. That's the next part two of where we're gonna go with it with this conversation. So I feel like we need to get it from all sides of the spectrum to really get a true understanding of what's going on. So this is just part one right now, but we definitely gonna look for part two coming soon on this conversation to extend it further. But before we go, man, geez, go ahead, let them know how they can reach you.
Man, all platforms, 88K3 EP, whenever you get ready. Furmane, good seeing you again. And Chuck out there in the Himalayas. Good seeing everybody. Hello, internet world.
And yo, I want what's up, Key? Shout out to you, Key. Shout out to you, Chuck. Yo, AGA, it's Furmane Entertainment. Want to thank Big Money No Problems Talk Podcast, man. This Furmane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, AG. Let them know how they can reach us.
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. We had a few watchers and whatnot while we was on this live. You know what I mean? We always appreciate anybody's feedback. You know what I mean? Anybody's following. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we growing, we building, we, you know what I'm saying, continuously grinding on this thing. You know what I'm saying? But then y'all can reach us on BMNP underscore ENT. On Instagram, BMNP underscore podcast on Twitter, Big Money No Problems Entertainment on Facebook, Big Money No Problems casting on SoundCloud. Man, we on every major platform, man. Don't forget to check us out on 92 KELZ, you know what I mean, every Saturday at 5 p.m. You know what I mean? You catch us on One United Radio. Brother John Ali, we got to get you back on here. You know what I'm saying? We exchanged a lot of heavy content, you know what I mean, in the last show. You know what I mean? So we ain't hard to find, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We grinding, we moving. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Furmane movement. Shout out to Keys movement. You know what I mean? We got Majestic Mind State coming. We got BMNP clothing coming. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot coming, a lot going on. You know what I mean? Black men building out this piece. You know what I'm saying?
Plug that EP, bro.
Oh, the EP. Hey, Majestic Mind State EP coming soon. Soon. You know what I'm saying? Coming soon. Produced by 88 Keys.
Hey, the man got the best production I've ever put out. The best production I've ever done. He the only person I'll let do that. He went through my library and took all my number ones. All of them.
Hey, it's like that, but you know,
I'm more anxious for the EP than he is.
Hey, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of network and the foundation. Shout out to Ace, you know what I mean? Shout out to Rex, shout out to Thought, shout out to Jig, the guy, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that, you know what I mean, that we are creating this platform with our platform is constantly expanding. You know what I mean? We are under expansion in here. You know what I'm saying? With a whole bunch of like-minded, professional, entrepreneurial minded individuals. You know what I mean? And we going. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
All day, man. Hey, like I said, man, we appreciate everybody doing what they're doing, man. We appreciate everybody giving us an opportunity to do what we do right here. You know what I'm saying? We over 500 plus downloads. We still growing. We still getting those. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is just moving in our short time and just doing what we've been doing. So we definitely appreciate everybody paying attention to us, man, and continue to pay attention to us because y'all gonna see us for a little while on every avenue. It's gonna get to a point where y'all gonna be like, damn, y'all on everything. Yeah, you right. We is gonna be on everything. So definitely definitely continue.
Not for fake. Not for fake.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? So definitely continue to support, man. Just keep moving. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, my little bro, DJ Best Friend doing this thing out there. Shout out to Furmane, Go Villain, his artist, man, doing this thing out there, man. I'm paying attention to a lot of things that's just being moved outside of all this. So
yeah, y'all got IG on fire.
Yeah, you already know. I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody moving. Hey, we here. We just doing what we doing, man. Continue to salute, man. Hey, I know how we move. Peace.
Peace.